What's up, guys? It's Sabrina Carpenter, and this is the playlist of my life. Not this, but it will be, because I'm gonna do it. At Last by Etta James. I think it was probably the first or second song that I ever learned and sang, and this was kind of like that song that really made me appreciate soul and the power of a voice. I think Etta James' voice was just so singular. At last. I think this song kind of led me down a path of being open to all kinds of music later in my life, because I wasn't forced to like one thing as a kid. You know, it wasn't like, oh, you're a kid, so you listen to pop music or you listen to these kinds of, I mean, this was one of the first songs I ever learned. Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. I don't think I remember when I learned this song. The reason why I say I learned songs instead of I heard them or I listened to them is because from the second I could open my mouth and speak, I just knew that I wanted to sing. So I think I always saw songs as a part of what I could do to showcase and develop my own voice. At a young age, I really gravitated towards these singers with really strong, powerful voices. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Also, just the message behind the song. I think it helped me learn to just be open and accepting of everyone. The fact that this was one of the songs that was the most influential in my life, I've carried the message with me. Raccoon by the Beatles. I specifically remember driving with my dad to get his hair cut. I don't know why, he didn't really have hair. Don't show him that. Don't tell him I say, oh, he's gonna see that. Anyways, we were driving to get his hair cut, and I remember him turning on this song, and immediately I was like, this is music?
Now somewhere in the black mining hills of Dakota, there lived a young boy named Raccoon.
This song, I think to a lot of people, they were probably just thinking, oh, the Beatles were high when they wrote this. I mean, they were high, but also, like, there is such a story behind it, and they kind of did that with all their songs, and it made me really want to be a songwriter. Dancing Queen by Abba. I actually wasn't introduced to this song until much later in my life when I realized I was young and sweet and only 17. Young and sweet, only 17. So I remember the moment I was turning 18, and it was my last minute as a 17-year-old, and I just listened to this in the car, and I was like kind of crying. It's such a happy song, it's such a dance song, you just think of Mamma Mia, but it made me feel like there was only one of me. There was only one sweet 17-year-old in the world, and her name was Sabrina Carpenter, which was a lie, because there's a lot not named Sabrina Carpenter, but you know what I was trying to get with that. The End of the World by Skeeter Davis. When you're growing and you're feeling things for the first time and you're figuring out who you are, it kind of, everything feels like the end of the world. Every heartbreak, every emotion, like it really does feel like the end of the world. And this was the song that she was like, why does everyone just live so happily when it's obviously the end of the world because you don't love me anymore? 'Cause you don't love me anymore. Isn't it heartbreaking? How do you spell Carpenters? Oh, y'all took that literally. My last name's Carpenter. That was a joke. We've Only Just Begun by me. Just kidding, the Carpenters. I always wanted to tell people that we were related because I had no other answer for where I got my voice from or started singing from. So I would always say, you know, the Carpenters. Karen Carpenter's voice was always just something that had a huge impact on my life. And this isn't the only song by them that I love, but it's a special song to me because it's my parents' song. We've only just begun to live, so much of life ahead. It's just the melody. It's so melancholy at the same time as it's so beautiful and hopeful because it's saying we've only just begun. Almost Love by Me. Almost Love for me is kind of my life story. It's these vignettes of relationships that never have the ending that you imagine or the perfect ending, which I think is not realistic. I want you like a midnight hour wants to feel. Well, it's my newest song, so I'm kind of creating new memories with it every day. You relate to a song so much more after you've been singing it for years than you ever did the first second you wrote it, because in that moment, everything's just kind of flying and it feels like everything's moving in ultra speed. But it's not until you get to like live with it for a bit that you digest it and you realize, oh wow, this is my life, and this represented a very important period in my life. Consideration, Riri featuring SZA. This actually really inspired my approach of writing my third album. It was the unstructured rhythm that I loved. That just made it go a little bit like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, which is kind of what Rihanna has always done as an artist to me, which is why I look up to her so much. I got to do things my own Also because she's really tall, so I look up to her in general. She's always doing something that we never expect. That's the best thing you can ask for in an artist. Smooth by Santana. You know what jumped out for me on this song? When he just name dropped Mona Lisa. Because I was like, oh, I know the Mona Lisa. I was also like 12 being like, I love art.
My Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa.
As far as what I then took with me in songwriting is that you can almost find one little moment in a song that can be an entire song. Even though the song was smooth and obviously it was just like such a vibe in general, I just always remember that particular lyric and phrase. This is the playlist of my life. All these songs kind of represent a different period in my life in the past, my life in the present, probably in the future. Hope you guys like my playlist. Hope you listen to it, and I hope you like it. I said that already. I said that twice. Cool, I'm gonna go home now.